Okay, so I was saying that I'm Diana Tedoldi, I'm the founder of the Nature Coaching Academy, and Tamara Corcovado Sanchez, I hope I'm pronouncing it well.
Right, correct.
Is the local ambassador, the local person who takes care of supporting the Nature Coaching Academy in organizing all the courses for Spain and Austria. So we have two beautiful nature immersions coming up. One is very close, is in July in Austria, and we have introduced this nature immersion last week, and we have the recording, and it soon will be posted in the website, and also the link will be sent via email to all our subscribers. Then we have coming up in September another beautiful experience in Spain, and we are here tonight to have a taste of this environment, which will be the Cabo de Gata Natural Park or Reserve. Now Tamara will tell us more. And we will be listening to Tamara introducing the place, and then I will introduce what we will do there. And so Tamara, on to you.
Thank you. So I can share my screen?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So, yeah, as Diana said, good evening to everyone. We are here to present our workshop about nature connection during 5 days in Cabo de Gata, Níjar Natural Park in Spain, which will take place from the 14th to 18th September of this year. And as we said, Diana is a certified professional coach, among other specializations. She has more than 20 years of experience leading individual and groupal paths. And she has been working with more than 30,000 people since 2000. And she will talk more in detail about the workshop. And my name is Tamara Corcovado Sanchez. I will be your local ambassador in Cabo de Gata, Níjar Natural Park in Spain. I am senior researcher at Mendel University in Brno, in Czech Republic. And I am specialized on forest pathology, so in diseases of forests. And since I was a child, I have been always fascinated with forests and animals. And I was always among the gardens of my grandparents, always trying to hiking, playing in the surrounding areas of my villages, and learning about animal behavior and plants. It was one of my main hobbies since a child, and always learning through documentaries and books. I always wanted to work like National Geographic, traveling all over the world. Somehow something came to me similar to this. My goal is to bring people to nature, to reconnect with it, and try to find inner peace. Here you can see some photos. So during my professional career, I have been traveling through all over the world in different ecosystems, different forests, trying to study the interactions between native and non-native pathogens in the forests. We are realizing the last decades how this equilibrium between the natural pathogens and the forests are decreasing this and creating more imbalance and more declining observation. The observation of declining forests and mortality is increasing, and is somehow connected with the human being lifestyle. So in this, as I said before, this 5 days nature immersion will take place in Cabo de Gata, Níjar Natural Park. So this is located in Andalusia, in the southeast of Almeria province. So this is connected on the right with the Mediterranean Sea, and is also surrounding 3 main municipalities, which is Almeria, Carboneras, and Níjar. So all this area. And yeah, it covers a surface of 38,000 hectares, and is one of the most important protected areas in Andalusia region. Its ecological importance lies in its volcanic origin. So it has a volcanic origin, very ancient one, and it has a semi-arid climate. And also it's important by this combination of terrestrial and marine areas. And this one of the less explored areas by tourists. So it's not so well known internationally, and it's more isolated. So it's a more peaceful area, and gathers, yeah, more peace to enjoy coast and these semi-arid habitats. So yeah, in general, the main habitat that when you will find when you come to this workshop will be the Mediterranean steppe. I will be showing some photos now. The Mediterranean steppe. Then we have also dune formations. Here we can see some photos. Also the coastal cliffs, and the also important environment is in the sea, which is the famous seagrass Posidonia, the Mediterranean Posidonia aquatic plant, very protected nowadays. And yeah, also in 2015, it was declared as the UNESCO Geopark. And this is due to this volcanic origin, and still we can observe different geomorphological structures which are related to this high ancient volcanic activity. And it's also a special protected area for birds and a special conservation area. And it's also within the international list of Ramsar wetlands. So we observe some saline areas, these wetlands areas where we can find big populations of flamingos. But yeah, one of the main treasures of this natural park is its beds of Posidonia, and the Posidonia serves as a shelter for many species of fishes. So many people come here also for diving and for snorkeling. Yeah, also the area offers different cultural remains, because in this area was also hosting important civilization, Mediterranean civilization like the Tartessos, the Phoenicians, and it's also well known like the pirate coast, because during the 16th, 17th, 18th century, it was characterized by the assaults, the attacks of many pirates and the Berbers. So there was a lot of pirate activity in this coast area. And for this reason, we will see many watchtowers and castles, very old castles. And this is all connected with protection against these pirates attacks. And yeah, more recent cultural remains. We can see here the mills and farmhouses also. Well, we offer accommodation in Los Escuyos. It's a camping, and it has very comfortable bungalows, as you can see in these photos, very nice ones. And it can be, yeah, for individual or for groups. And also there is possibility also to bring the tent. And it has also many facilities, among them the restaurants, also, yeah, swimming pool, resting areas. There is also a big room, a building, also for giving presentations, or whatever other activities. Yeah, that is more or less what I wanted to present. And now, yeah, I will give Diana the opportunity now to present to all of you in detail this workshop.
Great. So thank you, Tamara, for this beautiful introduction. I can't wait to be there because we've seen really beautiful photos of a magnificent environment, and you will be our genius loci connector, as I like to call it. So the person who introduces us to the genius loci, which is a word in ancient Latin that means the spirit of the place. And I love everything that you said about the place, its naturalistic aspects, and also some history about it, and the cultural aspects of that area. They make for a very rich experience and background for our explorations. So we will be working not really with forest bathing because there are no forests, but we will be working with deep nature connection practices to explore some what I call natural archetypes. And the desert is an archetype because it recalls deep experiences of mystic persons of the past. Jesus is one of them, but all cultures have stories and myths and lore about the desert as a place where you go and connect with your deeper self, with your soul, or with something really deep about your nature. So the desert as an archetype has a deep impact on our psyche. And so we'll be playing around the concept of personal vision, understanding and focusing your personal philosophy, your values, your guiding values. And these are some of the main themes, along with the connection with the sacred, with what for each of us is sacred. These are some of the key themes, the core themes that will be offered to us by the desert and the arid environment in Cabo de Gata Natural Park. Then we have the sea. We have seen beautiful photos, and the sea is another very powerful natural archetype, which has to do with the flow of life, the movement of life, our deep memories, emotions, sentiments, relationships. So the water will offer us chances to work on these aspects in our lives. And I've just completed this past weekend, a 3 days nature immersion in Italy, where we have been working with my place where I live along Adda River near the Alps. And we have also connected with I would really say with a very magical aspect of the water, which is to bring us in a different state of perception. I invite you to explore this practice that I'm about to tell you, which is sit in front of a water of your choice, a natural water. So it can be a lake or the sea or a river or a spring, any kind of water, but even a small river is fine. And find a comfortable position with your spine vertical, and leave your body in a position where you can leave your body for at least 10 minutes without feeling that you need to move, so that you can forget about your body. Then sit there in stillness and watch the water in front of you with an open sight. So without really focusing something, but with a more open sight. And practice this indication, which is set yourself the intention to watch the water as if you don't know it's water. It's really easy. It's super easy, but it makes something in your brain. So if you watch the water as it's flowing, so it needs to be a water that is moving, or even a still lake may be okay. You will see that this thinking of not knowing that it's water will bring you in a different, in a more contemplative state, and will, I would say, crush your brain, because it doesn't know what it is and how to call it. So this is a very simple contemplative practice that you can experience on your own, and the next time you find yourself near some kind of water, natural waters. So we will be working also not only contemplating and connecting with many other kind of practices with the sea, but also actually going inside the sea and working on retrieving aspects of our movement patterns that have to do with our spinal cord, with the ancient movements of our spinal cord that recall memories of when we were alive in waters, either in the belly of our mothers or in pre-human stages of life development. So we will be working with swimming in a particular way to retrieve these ancient movement patterns in our spine and in our body in general, which has to do with recalling wider possibilities, not only of movement, not only in our bodies, but also in our brains. So the more we expand our movement possibilities with our bodies, the more we expand our thinking possibilities, because brain and mind are connected. So the water really offers us this beautiful environment where we can practice movements that are less human and more closer to other kind of possibilities for us. So these are just some brief indications about some of the experiences that maybe I can explain to you more in detail by sharing my screen, and then I will tell you something more about the Nature Coaching Academy. So you have a feeling of the context and the container that we will be exploring. So just a little bit about the programs that we offer. So these are 4 of the courses that we offer: Forest Ambassador, Nature Coach, and Forest Coach. Forest Ambassador is the foundational course which needs to be attended to keep on moving towards the other courses. So it is it is made up of a 5 days nature immersion, and Tamara is also hosting an Austrian edition of our nature immersion in July, as I said in the beginning, and the Spanish edition. So 5 days nature immersion plus 26 hours of online learning with blended learning, synchronous and asynchronous, meaning that some parts of the learning are self-paced with videos that we provide, homework, and mainly it's videos and audio and practices that you will go and explore on your own, and then we will talk about it in synchronous webinars where me and you, the participants, and other trainers, of course, are together online to review the videos that we provided, talk about it, practice online. And this foundational path lasts for 3 months online. And you will need to add 5 days nature immersion of your choice. And these are 2 of the ones that we offer this year, with more coming up. Then if you, with this module, you learn how to guide a forest bathing experience and deep nature connection with trees and the environment of the forest. Then if you want to learn all about the framework of our courses, which is, let me show you here, the 8 natural archetypes rose, which comprises different kind of environments. So we have the desert and the waters that we are going to experience in Spain. Then we have the forest, which will be along with the mountain and mountain waters, so lakes and rivers, which will be the content of the Austrian workshop. Then we have the volcano experience, and this year it's going to be in Italy, in the island of Ischia, and next year it's going to be once more in Italy, in the island of Volcano, near Sicily, in the Aeolian Islands. Then we have the archetype of the soil, the earth, and the sky, and the great void, which is another, it's not really a natural archetype, but it's the background of all the others. And it has a very interesting meaning for us as well. So this is the framework. And basically in all our nature immersions, we offer dedicated experiences with one or more, usually more than one, of these natural archetypes, as I was addressing. So just let me go back a while. Okay, so 1 5 days nature immersion, 3 months online learning, Forest Ambassador. Add 1 more 5 days nature immersion and 30 more hours of online learning with the same format, some self-paced learning and some synchronous meetings where we review the material and practice together, and Nature Ambassador. So on top of becoming a forest bathing guide and a deep nature connection facilitator in synergy with forest and trees, you get with the nature journeys, with the nature learning journeys, you get a thorough understanding of the full spectrum of the rows of the 8 natural archetypes. For every natural archetype, we have a detailed workbook with lots of practices that you will do on your own before proposing them to other persons. So it's a really deep journey, and you get deep learning of all the natural archetypes and the core themes related to personal growth, self-awareness, and self-discovery related to each of them. If on top of these courses, you add the training as a coach, you become a nature coach or a forest coach. So Forest Ambassador plus dedicated coach-specific training hours, which is 77 additional training hours. And I'm requesting the accreditation to the International Coaching Federation as an ACSTH accredited program. The International Coaching Federation is the leading organization globally about coaching. I'm a professional certified coach accredited by the International Coaching Federation. And the ACSTH accreditation means that by attending the course, you can then register to the International Coaching Federation and start the accreditation process to become a certified coach. ACSTH means accredited standard training coaching hours. So this is something that we will get over the summer, and I can't wait to promote this aspect too. It's been really committing to prepare all the documentation, but we're really excited to start. The next cohort of coaching training is starting in January 2022. These courses will start next fall. So the online journeys are starting next fall. So during our trainings, you get to learn a lot about our tools that we use as nature coaches and forest coaches. So prompts to work with nature and natural archetypes, awareness maps for self-discovery, connecting with nature, nature coaching cards where we have natural mentors for each of the 8 natural archetypes with coaching questions to go deep into the power of each natural archetype. Then we have loads of ecosomatic practices aimed at awakening our ecosomatic intelligence. And when I say ecosomatic, maybe you are more used to the word somatic, which means it has to do with the body. So practices of embodiment, of connection with our somatic knowledge, the knowledge that is embedded in our soma, in the life of our bodies. But when I say ecosomatic, it means the intelligence that belongs to our bodies in direct connection with nature. Of course, we always are in direct connection with nature because we are nature. Okay, so we don't absolutely want to create or reinforce this split between us and nature, us humans and nature, because we are animals and primates. But sometimes we forget about it in our ordinary lives, and the embodiment practices, the mindfulness practices, the deep nature connection practices, and forest bathing practices are exactly aimed at remembering that we are nature. And it's not something that you remember in your mind, it's a deep memory that rises from our bodies. So when we intentionally connect with our bodies, working with many different practices to really awaken our sensory awareness, our sensory richness. And by the way, brain patterning happens over sensory input. So the more we work towards enriching our sensory experience of our life and of the world, the more we are enriching our problem solving, creativity skills, decision making, ideas, intuition, insights. So we work through the body with nature, in synergy with nature, and not simply in nature. Because in our experience, nature is really a partner in the process of our workshops, and also as coaches in our sessions. So we work in synergy with nature to feel again part of nature, because sometimes our minds overcome our embodied ability to feel that we are part of nature. And when we retrieve this feeling of comparticipation, of being part of, we also awaken our innate love of nature. And this is what we call biophilia. And it's the foundation of a new way to perceive, of a new way, of a way to perceive ourselves in relation with life. It's a word that comes from ancient Greek. But bios means life, philia means love. So biophilia is the feeling of comparticipation with life, is the feeling of loving life. And when we feel this, we want to do everything we can to protect the object of our love. So in this case, nature. So we believe that we are in a moment in human history where we really need to start taking better care of our planet, of our home. The deep nature connection practices that we propose are aimed exactly at that, recalling the connection heart to heart, from our heart to the heart of our earth. And with this, awakening a deep commitment to support the regenerative forces of the life of our planet. So this is what guides us. Another reflection is that recent research has shown that the more people are stressed or burnout, the more their decision-making process impacts our planet for the worse. When you're stressed, when you are burnt out, you are not in the better position to think long-term, you think short-term. So short-termism is exactly what has brought us to this climate crisis that we absolutely need to heal the sooner possible to protect not only human life, but life in general. So when we do our workshops in nature, we really work at making the participants experience a deep alignment where we feel whole again, where stress can be released, where our thought rumination can find peace. And from this place of stillness and inner calm, inner peace, then a clear vision of the best decisions emerges. So we believe, and this is what I do also, I work a lot in companies. I didn't say anything about me really, but Tamara has introduced me briefly before. So I'm a leadership coach and a C-level and executive coach, and I work mainly with leaders, managers, and change makers, supporting their evolution process in their context, so in the companies where they work, but supporting them in conquering a systemic view of their leadership challenges in relationship with their context and in relationship ultimately with the impact that they can have on the communities around the company where they work with, and ultimately the planet and the life of the planet. So many evidence-based researches demonstrate that the more you meditate, the more you work with mindfulness, the more you practice mindfulness, the more you get to a place where decision making impacts the communities and life and nature for the better. So it's connected. Practicing mindfulness is connected to long-term decision making, to holistic view, helicopter view. So actually, the more we meditate, the better decision makers we become. And this is even more empowered when we take mindfulness in connection with nature, because then we can also benefit from all the rich sensory inputs that we feel in nature, and from the vivid life that touches us when we are with nature. So we believe that this process is really impactful for people, and that so this is what is calling us. This is the mission that we want to bring on. I always like to recall a quote from Joanna Macy, a famous activist, American activist and ecologist, and she says, "The global crisis is, in essence, a crisis of perception. There can be no technological fix, but only a revolution in the way we perceive ourselves and our relationship with the earth." And this is exactly what we want to do when we work with people. I always like to say that my mission is not to do courses, it's to grow a global community, a global forest of aligned intent, where we take care exactly of this process. So this is also why we do only a few courses every year, because we want to create a deep connection with our participants and really take them hand in hand and accompany them in realizing what we teach, what we facilitate, supporting them in their professional development journey, developing confidence in proposing to their clients, to the people they work with, the practices that they have learned with us. So this is what I love to do. And so far we had 2 editions of the Nature Coaching Academy. These are some of our trainers. So we started in 2019, then COVID hit us, and we had to stop since March of last year, all our courses in person. We had the chance to complete all the online learning of the planet, I would say, because we had to keep the community alive. I've added a lot of contents over the past 2 years to keep the community together, until we finally are completing the first edition and now a second cohort of students. We are more or less 60 persons now who have completed the first 2 editions of the Nature Coaching Academy courses since 2019. And we are starting a new cohort as of this fall, one in Italy and one internationally. So these are some of our trainers. This is our biologist, Ilaria Bianchini, beautiful educator. This is Arnaldo, bioarchitect, organic architect, and also an expert in survivalism, tracking, and inner growth. This is Maya Kornakia, the mentor of my life, and she is deeply experienced in embodiment and somatic organic knowledge, and all her practices are really foundational to our courses. And this is Nicola Castelli, who teaches mindfulness, and he's a mindfulness trainer, a counselor, and leadership expert as well. We work together in the corporate environment. These are some of the photos of our participants of the first cohort, and we have, I was saying that we have just completed a workshop, and this is one of the photos that we've taken this past weekend. We were along this beautiful river, Adda, which is 15 minutes from my home, in this beautiful beach, and we were practicing contemplation and nature connection, tree connection, forest bathing for 3 days in a row. And so some adventures as well. And so this was a small group of 15 people, and you can find in our website a list of our courses, where you also find the dedicated brochure of our courses in Austria in July and in Spain. So if you just go to naturecoaching.net, the courses page, you can download the dedicated brochure about the courses that I'm talking about, and you can also see Tamara in the ambassadors page. Then I wanted to just let me remove this bar. Yeah, you also find in the gallery some photos. Now wait, okay, this is the virtual forest bathing gallery, but this is not what I wanted to show you. So these are some of the photos of our courses, and you can have a look at the different environments or experiences that we do. Okay, and have a taste of what it feels like to experience together. It was 400 tree. I don't know how it's called in Italy. It's a faggio in Italian. I'm sorry for not knowing the English translation. Okay, so another aspect of our courses that I didn't mention is that we work a lot with the biomimicry approach, which means that we investigate nature's strategies and problem-solving ideas and adaptations, so that we can then transfer nature's genius to our challenges, personal or professional challenges. So biomimicry is an emergent field of research that merges biology and knowing and investigating nature, so that we can really align with the genius that is all around us, spread in our ecological ancestors. And so part of our learning is how to apply a biomimicry approach in coaching and to facilitate personal growth paths. This is one of the most beautiful places near my house where I love to take my groups. And this was the very first workshop of nature coaching 2 years ago. So if you want, you can enjoy even more pictures to get to know a little bit more about our job. Now, I would just like to address one more thing, which is the benefits of taking coaching outdoors, and also taking groups and experiences outdoors. So just let me take some of these slides. So I have a collection of evidence-based researches, and if you want a white paper where I collected them all, I am more than happy to send you. Just drop me a line at welcome@naturecoaching.net and I can share it with you. So these are some of the researches that I studied, addressing the benefits that we get from connecting with nature. 20 minutes of forest gazing lowers our salivary cortisol, which is called the stress hormone. So the forest gazing impacts us for the better And people gazing in urban settings don't get this kind of benefit. 30 minutes forest walking this past weekend, 3 days we've been forest walking for more than 3 hours. But just 30 minutes, so wonder how it impacted our health and perception of well-being. But this research was saying that 30 minutes forest walking compared with 30 minutes urban walks lowers the cortisol, lowers the activity of the sympathetic nerve, lowers blood pressure and heart rate, which are all markers of a stress condition. 2 hours of forest walking for 2 days, exactly what we do in our nature immersions. We will be doing this in Austria. 50% higher natural killer cells, which is the body's disease fighting agents, the cells that kill cancerous cells, for example, and the effect lasts for 7 days. 3 days wilderness backpacking, 50% better on creative problem solving, increased self-esteem and self-efficacy, and reduced performance anxiety. Lots of benefits, additional benefits also for this kind of experiences with teens, for example, which is why the adventure therapy is taking so much space now in many at-risk adolescents caring facilities. And the effects last, in this case, for almost a month. And I'm addressing the aspects of connecting with the forest and the trees, but let's not forget that the sea, which we'll be exploring in Spain, offers us an atmosphere rich in nutrients that are so well known that since ancient ages, we talk about thalassotherapy. Thalasso in ancient Greek means mare, I was saying it in Italian, incredible. Thalasso means the sea. So therapy with the sea. So these benefits coming from the nutrients that are spread in the atmosphere, in the air of marine environments, is a boost for our immune system and is also very beneficial for anybody who has thyroid diseases. So there are so many evidence-based benefits related to nature connection that we would need to dedicate an entire webinar only to listing a few of them. So I've reassembled some of them in this slide. So you can see that the benefits impact both our health and our perceived well-being in many different ways. But one that I really like to address in particular, is the emergence of pro-environment and pro-social behaviors. So the science tells us that the more you connect with nature, the more you feel nature connected. And there is also a test, if you want, I can send it to you to measure your nature connectedness. The more we feel nature connected, the more we develop pro-environment and pro-social behavior. So behavior that impacts the communities that we attend and the environment for the better. And this is really a key aspect in our work. These past 3 days, we have been, you've just seen the river where we were. It was so beautiful with that beautiful beach. When we arrived there, it was full of rubbish. Not really full, but there was a lot. So the first thing that we did was take our gloves and take our sackets, our bags, and collect all the rubbish. And it made us feel so good that we have tended the place, our venue, the place of our adventures, that we have that has really allowed us to build a connection and a relationship with that place. And when we left after a whole day of experience day, we felt like some of us, some of our energy was left there, and the care was caring for that place was also caring for ourselves. So we see it emerging all the time when we work with people. Nature connection creates better humans, I would say. Okay, so this was just a brief overview. I had maybe some more things to share with you, but let me see if there's something else there. Well, maybe, yeah, just since we have 15 more minutes, I will dedicate 5 more minutes to some definitions, which I think may be useful. So when we say forest bathing, we mean an experience that comes from Japan, from the 80s, when the Department of Public Health launched a program to study the impact of connecting with the forest. So walking in the forest, taking contemplative and meditative practices in the forest. And they wanted to research, so it was in the 80s, so more than 40 years ago. They wanted to explore and understand from a scientific perspective if that was beneficial on some aspects of our health. And it was. So since then, really hundreds, if not, yeah, I think hundreds of researches have unfolded. So in Japan, they call this practice Shinrin-yoku, and forest bathing is the translation of this Japanese concept of deeply immersing ourselves in the atmosphere of the forest, savoring the forest throughout our senses. And one may say, okay, it's like walking in the forest. No, it's more like meditating in the forest. It's more like slowing down and really entering a different wave of perception and a different state of consciousness. So I like to say that if you don't think differently after a forest bathing experience, if you don't see things differently, it means that you really haven't shifted the place of your perception. So for me, it was less a forest bathing experience and more a walking in the forest. And it's not so, learning how to do it and how to facilitate this kind of shifts in our state of perception and consciousness is something that needs practice. And so it's easier for people who are used to contemplative practices and meditation, and a bit tougher for other persons, because unfortunately, most of our ordinary daily lives is spent in a state of consciousness that is usually very fast and very rational. So we really need to step back, and slowness and contemplation and embodiment is what speeds up the process. And doing it with a group is even more empowering and enabling for this shift to happen. When we say deep nature connection, we talk about feeling at one with nature, experiencing a sense of belonging, and interbeing, as Thich Nhat Hanh says, with nature and life. So it's about, again, once more, expanded states of consciousness. We have a practice that we call the passage from light to dark that we do at when the sun goes down. And it takes about 1 hour. It's really deep contemplation, and it's contemplation that you do walking on yourself on a spot in the forest. And we did it on Saturday evening. And after we finished, and it was really dark, it was around 10 p.m. When we finished, I don't know, maybe that forest was really special because I've done it dozens or hundreds of times. And this past Saturday, it was so powerful for something, I don't know what. Maybe that forest was really special. And when we finished, we really, it was 15 people, 15 of us, and we really hardly found the words to talk about the experience, because we had extended our place of feeling and knowing so much beyond words and so much before words. that it was really hard to come back to a ordinary perception. And so usually when this happens, it means that we have really touched a very deep state of meditation. And it was really nice because there were dragonflies all around us. No, not dragonflies, the little insects that spread light. I don't remember how they are called in English. Anyway, okay, so it was in the dark, these insects that emit light come up when it's really humid, and it was really mystical and magic. So when you access this kind of states of consciousness, and you try to think about one of the issues or the challenges that were touching you a few minutes before, then you really see things differently. So unless you achieve this shift in your perception, in your thinking, I wouldn't call a deep nature connection experience, but maybe just a nature connection experience. So the deep marks a shift in your perception, and is a word that recalls the approach of John Young, which is one of the mentors that I've been studying over the past few years. He's the founder of a global movement of nature connection enthusiasts, and I am one of them. And he says in one of his many webinars and books and articles, it's not just about being in nature for a certain time. It's the quality of your presence and the attention that you pay to nature that makes it impactful. So it's about shifting the place of our presence, of our perception. Then coaching. So if some of you are coaches, you may know that it's a partnering process aimed at letting the fullest potential of the person you're working with emerge. So when we talk about nature coaching, we talk about coaching in synergy with nature, in connection with nature as co-coach. You find in our website, naturecoaching.net, the recording of one of my latest webinars where I talk about forest coaching. And if you want, you can write an email to me and I can send you a practice of connection with the tree, where you can experience what it means to have nature as co-coach. So in nature coaching, we aim at restoring human beings to their natural ability to take care of themselves and their whole relational ecosystem. Forest coaching is an approach to nature coaching focused solely on the connection with trees in forest ecosystems. And this is like the final slide that I will go through with you. So just some concepts about nature coaching. Nature is the co-coach in our approach and in a process of mirroring and dialogue between inner and outer landscape. In our approach to coaching with nature, the awakening of our somatic intelligence integrates powerful questioning and core coaching competencies to enable feeling, shift in perception, awareness, responsibility, self-actualization, and change, and enable our emergent future to come up, and so we can see it. Nature connection, nature forms body work, so imitating forms of nature, embodying the forms of nature, and ecosomatic activation practices support and integrate the coaching process and dialogue. So we work a lot with the body, through the body, to awaken our organic intelligence. The natural environment can constitute the setting both indoors. We have adaptations for most of our practices, also indoors, above all those that are body-based. And of course, it's made for the outdoors. The nature coach uses a language rich of natural metaphors and images and nature-based visualizations and experiences, and you will experience loads of those with us. And it's about life-centered learning. So the coach facilitates the coach's ability to nurture and support life in his life or her life, in the life of his community or her community, and the wider context of nature and non-human living beings. So in our courses, we teach coaches and group facilitators and forest bathing facilitators how to connect inner landscape and outer landscape, inner nature and outer nature, for the purpose of personal growth and an increase in our awareness and in our impact for the better on our planet. So this was some parts of the presentation that I wanted to share with you. Just one brief comment about, oh yes, the natural archetypes that we will be working with in Cabo de Gata. So these are the core experiences of our workshops in every case and everywhere. So it's about slowing down, it's about embodiment, it's about sensory awakening. We love music and storytelling around the bonfire wherever it's possible, active music making in particular, and also working on nature connection through our voice, and the possibility to connect with nature through our voice and through active music making, which is quite inspiring and creative. Lots of connection, community building, and cosmunity feeling, like I like to call it. So in Spain, we will be mainly working with these two natural archetypes, the waters. So all that is about our relationship with emotions, sentiments, people, belonging, trust, community, the flow of life, change, deep memories, fluid awareness, flow and pleasure. Then the desert, the connection with the deeper self, with our most authentic nature, the vision of our life, our essence. The desert invites us in a place of self-alignment where we can see the vision of our life and have a crystal clear vision of our calling, and understand the philosophy and the values that move us and that we believe in, and learn how to use them in our daily life to orient ourselves, so to really find the compass in our life. It's about defining our personal credo. It's about connecting with the sacred and spirituality, whatever this means to you. So the interesting thing is that if you want to become a nature coach or a nature ambassador, you can complete your in-person learning journey this summer by attending the courses in Austria and in Spain. So I really hope that we will meet you somehow and somewhere this summer. And of course, in any case you have questions or whatever, just drop us a line. And by registering to our newsletter, you also get a discount on your participation fee. And we have early bird rates expiring very soon at the end of this month for the Austrian workshop, and a bit later for the Spanish workshop, which is in September. So I will end this recording so that we can publish it with a little editing, deleting the names of the people who have joined us. And I